You've won the World Player of the Year award. You just won the Champions League this season. You also won the Champions League last season. But you're still not the main character in your national team. Years ago, it would have been unbelievable to imagine such a situation. Yet that's exactly the reality for Ousmane Dembélé in the French national team at the 2026 World Cup. This summer, the French team enters the campaign with one of the most expensive squads on the planet. The list of 26 players carries enormous expectations, but the focus of all debate revolves around two names, Kylian Mbappe and Dembélé. Public attention is focused on the Real Madrid star, even though the player who just reaped both individual and club glory is a former teammate at Paris Saint-Germain. The media closely follows every move of the striker born in 1998, making him the center of attention. While Dembélé, the second French player this century to win the prestigious Franc Football Award, has a less prominent public influence. French media once circulated the saying that France had two major events in 1998, the World Cup victory of the Zinedine Zidane generation and the birth of Mbappe. Since Zinedine Zidane's time, the French had waited over a decade to witness such a great talent. He shone brightly, lifting the World Cup trophy at the age of 20 in Russia, rising to the ranks of superstars predicted to be the brightest star after the Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo era. But 8 years later, Mbappe's trophy cabinet still has 2 zeros. Bitter disappointment, never having lifted the Champions League or won the Ballon d'Or. Conversely, not long ago, perhaps not many people dared to believe that Dembélé would win the Champions League and the Ballon d'Or before his teammate. Having started in the same French U19 team, Dembélé, who was once considered a flop at Barcelona, plagued by injuries and few goals, now has the perfect springboard. The player born in 1997 has won 2 Champions League titles. If the French national team becomes world champions this year, the biggest beneficiary will be Dembélé in the race for his second consecutive Ballon d'Or. Why is that? Dembélé has won the Best Player award and has won the European Super Cup and the French Super Cup. Dembélé scored in the Champions League final and successfully defended the title. With such a comprehensive springboard, winning the World Cup will be the final piece to help Dembélé solidify his position, despite Mbappe being the brightest star in the team. But despite those impressive statistics, Dembélé's position still pales in comparison to Mbappe's influence in the French national team. I overheard someone saying that Dembélé will carry the team on his shoulders at the 2026 World Cup. That person said Dembélé is now the biggest player because he won the Ballon d'Or. I burst out laughing. Kylian Mbappe doesn't need the Ballon d'Or to be greater than Dembélé. Just like Andreas Iniesta doesn't need the Ballon d'Or to be better than Messi, Dembélé will still have to bow down to Kylian Mbappe. The Ninja Turtles will be the leader and the face of the whole team. No one in the current French squad has a greater stature than Kylian Mbappe. He is their king. That opinion reflects objective reality. People look to the 1998-born striker to assess the strength of their national team, using his attitude as a measure of success or failure, even though he still faces difficulties at club level. Mbappe just went through a season plagued by scandals and rumors. Real Madrid showed an unbalanced performance when adjusting their system to exploit the abilities of this superstar. Despite this, he still won the Pichichi Award in La Liga with 25 goals and the Champions League Top Scorer Award with 15 goals. The striker's goal-scoring ability is clearly a top-tier weapon. He has 369 goals and 138 assists at club level. At the national team level, Mbappe contributed 56 goals in 97 matches, closely matching Oliver Giroud's record of 57 goals. Everyone remembers Mbappe's unprecedented chip shot against Argentina in the 2022 World Cup final. However, modern football demands sacrifice for the team. An overly large ego is dragging the star down the title race. The image of the two-footed striker walking around without pressing has become symbolic of the period when Paris Saint-Germain, full of talent, fell short in the Champions League because the individuals weren't aligned. Since Mbappe's departure, coach Luis Enrique has built a more balanced pressing unit with Ousmane Dembélé, Rally Bakola, Desire Du, and Varid Kelia. They all share the commonality of being less well known than Mbappe but willing to run to their deaths, covering the entire pitch to make PSG the most ruthless pressing team in Europe. Paris Saint-Germain won the title thanks to a true team effort. At the 2026 gala for the best French player playing abroad, Kylian Mbappe suffered a bitter defeat to Michael Olise. The Bayern Munich star had an unprecedented season with 22 goals and 31 assists in 52 matches across all competitions. He surpassed both Mbappe and Ryan Cherki, helping the Bavarians defend their Bundesliga title and reach the Champions League semi-finals. Olise's consistency earned him an overwhelming number of votes from his colleagues, leaving his senior teammate empty-handed at the French football gala. A new order is subtly being established. Olise's arrival, along with Dembélé's brilliant form, has created a difficult problem for the attack. In a conversation with former star Jérôme Rotin on OMC Sport, Dembélé made an enigmatic statement: "I can adapt to any formation. For about a year now, the coach has given me more freedom when I'm with the national team. We are not confined to the right wing or the centre. I also understand Olise better. Kylian often moves to the left or cuts inside. As for Michael, we swap positions frequently. In the 2-1 friendly win against Brazil in March, I was positioned on the right wing and had the freedom to move around and create chaos in the opponent's half." Dembélé also delivered a message about team spirit. "There will be quite a few strong teams at the World Cup. We can win if we play with a team spirit. We have to attack together and defend together. This is 2026 and that's the only way to go as far as possible." Dembélé's statement caused a lot of controversy because in the French national team, Mbappe's position is rock solid, but he also seems to be the least involved in defending. This murmuring isn't new. Real Madrid defender Fran Garcia shared in January that if the French striker ran more actively, the whole team would benefit. Earlier, former French international Prino Kimpembe revealed that the less his teammates ran, the more tired he became. The 1998-born striker only offered witty responses. Could there be underlying discontent threatening the unity of a sensitive team like the French national team? Suspicions cannot be completely ruled out. Things became even more tense when the French team faced a controversy over bonuses before the tournament. The French Football Federation wanted to reduce the bonus to €20,000 per match as a cost-saving measure. This proposal did not receive the players' approval. Most were unhappy. This was especially concerning given that the federation had just signed a major sponsorship deal with Nike and had doubled the bonus for qualifying for the World Cup. The financial disagreement inadvertently added fuel to the fire before the big event. Faced with pressure and division, the immense responsibility weighed heavily on the shoulders of strategist Didier Deschamps. In the past, he pulled French football from the 2010 disaster in South Africa, when the entire team rebelled against the head coach, to the pinnacle of world football. When the whole team worked together, France reached 2 consecutive World Cup finals in 2018 and 2022, along with a semi-final and a final at the European Championship. No team has matched France's achievements in the last 10 years alone. However, even someone skilled at managing big egos like him still needs a compromise. How will the French national team coach handle situations where Mbappe doesn't press, hold the ball, or play individually, failing to synchronize with Dembélé or Olise? There are 2 options. One is to continue building the French team around their star striker, giving him maximum freedom and trusting in his ability to make a difference. The other is to integrate him into the system instead of turning the entire system into a tool to serve. The second option might mean the captain doesn't score as many goals as expected, but it would bring more balance to the French team. Will he cooperate to minimize the poor performance, or will it create discord in the dressing room? The French attack brought to this campaign is a formidable force, a testament to their high-quality selection. Having many stars presents a challenge when players share the same position, but it also gives France more attacking options depending on the match situation and the opponent. The 2026 World Cup, with opponents like Norway, Senegal, and Iraq, won't be an easy journey, but overall it's manageable. France's real problem will still be internal. Dembélé's status is now different. He's a two-time consecutive European champion and the reigning Ballon d'Or winner. Will Dembélé and Mbappe work well together when there are two tigers on one mountain? One will have to be patient.